Hello everyone, in today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to do a simple repaint of the Hasbro Black Series Scout Trooper helmet. Repainting Hasbro helmets is a great alternative for those of you that don't have 3D printers or are looking for an easier and quicker way to paint and redesign a helmet. There really isn't a lot that you need for this repaint in the way that I have just shown. First you're going to need some sandpaper or a sanding sponge to scrape up the initial surface so that the paint will stick. You're also going to need some tape to mask off the visor so that you don't paint that, because you still want to use it after you repaint the helmet and it needs to be see-through. So tape will help with that. For this, I used the Rust-Oleum camouflage paint. It doesn't look like it matches at the moment, but I'll show you guys the process and how I get it to look the way I do. I use a metallic silver Sharpie, and that's used for weathering. Lastly, you're going to use some just simple acrylic paints, black and gray, and an old brush. So that's basically all you need for this repaint. So I'll be showing you each of the steps that I took. As you can see here, we have the original Hasbro helmet, not yet painted. I masked up the visor. I have my mask ready to go because I don't want to breathe in everything as I'm sanding and painting. So make sure you get a good mask as you follow these first few steps. So after a very light sanding all over the helmet, you're going to cover the helmet with this camouflage Rust-Oleum paint. At first it's going to look really green. It's not going to look like the black that you saw at the beginning of the video. Not to worry, I'll show you guys how to do that. So with this, I didn't really need to do any super light coats. I was able to go over it with a pretty thick coat and felt pretty good about how it finished. So make sure you get all those areas. I opened up the visor and got the spots in between. So once again, you'll sand it so that it can stick and then cover it with that paint. After letting the paint fully cure, next comes the weathering part. So I saw this technique somewhere a while ago, but essentially you take a metallic Sharpie and you're just going to go over the edges and high places, the places that essentially would be scuffed up in battle. And it's going to make it look like the paint's kind of chipped away, rubbed away, and that the metal finish underneath is kind of peeking out from under. So metallic Sharpie is nice. It's a good way to go over the entire helmet without having to do a whole base coat of silver and then trying to scrape away the paint. So metallic Sharpie is a good way to go. It gives pretty good results. So once again, just go over it on the high places, and that's all you need to do. So after applying those Sharpie marks, we're going to go over the entire helmet with black acrylic paint. So it's going to be a mixture of water and the black paint, and you're just going to brush it on and wipe it off, leaving that blacker look. I decided to go with this rather than black paint because it gives more of a closer look to the Rogue One helmet I was trying to replicate, and I think it looks really good. So the character that was wearing this helmet had very little screen time, but here's a shot, and as you can see, there's kind of a greenish hue to the helmet. It's not completely black. That's another reason why I decided to go with this method. Once again, I think it looks really good. It makes it look authentic and kind of used and beat up. And lastly, you just need to add that gray on the mouthpiece. If there are any other areas in the helmet that need a little touch-up, feel free to do that. I added a little bit of red on the top of the helmet because it looked like there was a little bit of rust, but that's essentially it. And after a light acrylic coating, that finished our repaint. So as you can see here, it looks pretty good, it looks weathered. I enjoyed this repaint, and I hope you guys were able to learn something from this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next.